Sometimes we want to change, but we often lack enough motivation to get ourselves up from the comfort of our laziness, the boredom of life, lack of self-confidence, and countless other reasons often tie us down, preventing us from growing. Occasionally, we need to be reminded sternly so that we're driven to improve. Hopefully, the 7 pieces of advice in this video can serve as fuel to reignite your spirit. There are 7 phrases that truly hit hard, and let's discuss them one by one. The first is, if you cannot bear the exhaustion of learning, then prepare to endure the pain of ignorance. These powerful words, spoken by Imam Shafi'i, I framed and hung in my child's room when they were 10 years old. My goal was simple. Whenever my child feels lazy about studying, they only need to glance at that quote on their wall to understand that there is a price to be paid for ignorance. From my experience, there is a noticeable difference in the thinking patterns of those who dedicate their time to learning and those who don't. Just look at your friends who spend their days only playing and compare them with those who spend their days studying. It's especially striking in the way people think. We often wonder why there seems to be a divide. Those who are intelligent tend to socialize with other intelligent individuals, while those who enjoy playing tend to stick together. In the end, it's true. Birds of a feather flock together. Don't be the one left behind in ignorance, because if you are, you'll constantly be deceived, exploited, and taken advantage of. This world is harsh, so it's okay to be tired from learning to become knowledgeable, rather than always crying over the burden of ignorance. The second point is, if you don't move now, you'll have to run tomorrow. This is a very powerful statement. Be careful with thoughts like, I'll do it later, there's still time, especially for urgent matters like college assignments, office tasks with deadlines, or school projects. The best approach is to handle them as soon as possible, organize your schedule on paper, and work according to the priorities you've set. If you don't, then prepare to be overwhelmed tomorrow, scrambling to meet deadlines or struggling because you haven't finished your work. The task you're working on might be nearly done, but there will always be more waiting for you. If you procrastinate, eventually everything piles up, and you'll end up doing double the work. The biggest mistake when rushing is wanting everything to be done quickly, but in the end, that rush will slow you down because of the need to repeat the process. Yusuf Kala once said, big problems often come from small issues left unresolved. The third piece of advice is, if you don't give your best, don't expect the best. To achieve extraordinary results, you need to put in extraordinary effort. That's just the way it is. To get maximum results, you need maximum effort, and there's no shortcut around it. You can't expect amazing outcomes from mediocre work. When you work with your best effort, paired with sincere prayers, the results will also be the best, God willing. On the other hand, if you work carelessly, the results will reflect that. If you study half-heartedly, your results will also be lackluster. The fourth point, while you're being lazy, many others out there are working tirelessly to learn. When you're busy scrolling through TikTok, others are studying hard. When you're stalking Instagram, someone else is working diligently. While you're spending hours playing video games, others are mastering subjects like mathematics. And when you're binge watching Netflix, others are acquiring knowledge for their future. While some people are staying up late watching Korean dramas, in another part of the world, someone is waking up for tahajjud prayer and studying afterward. So don't ever say that God is unfair when their results are better than yours. The key point is, when you're slacking off, think about those who are out there giving their all to learn. The fifth piece of advice is, even those who work hard don't always succeed, so how can the lazy expect to succeed? Achieving something we desire is never easy. Some people study tirelessly but still don't get perfect scores. Others work to their fullest but haven't been promoted yet. Even those who give their best may not always achieve what they want, so how could the lazy expect to succeed? Some people say, don't worry, you'll get lucky. But luck isn't something you can count on. Luck happens when opportunity meets preparation. So, prepare yourself as best as you can, and when the opportunity comes, you'll be ready to seize it. That's how you become lucky, by being prepared when the time comes. The sixth point is, don't overthink your competitors. Our real competition is with ourselves. In the past, I was so obsessed with blaming others. I always wanted to chase other people's achievements, but in the end, I could never match them. After evaluating what went wrong, I realized that when we're too focused on blaming or competing with others, we'll never surpass them. But when we focus on improving ourselves, becoming better every day, overcoming laziness, pushing through boredom, and continuing to grow, gratitude starts to emerge. When that gratitude is there, our work becomes more fulfilling, and without realizing it, those we once wanted to surpass are left far behind. The key is, our true enemy is within ourselves. Focus on self-improvement, not on competing with others. The seventh piece of advice: just start working on it. Don't overthink, and it will get done. Many people haven't even started a task, but are already worrying about what will happen if they fail. They haven't done anything yet, but they're already afraid it won't work out. We often act like fortune tellers, predicting our future failures before we even begin. The irony is, our predictions are almost always negative. Just start the work. Don't overthink it. Yes, there's always a risk of failure, but that's part of the journey. If we don't put in 100% effort into a task, we've already failed before even starting. The key is to just start, slowly but surely, and avoid distractions that can pull us away from our focus. Don't overthink, because the more we just think without acting, the more the task will remain unfinished. Once we begin to work, our focus will gradually return, inspiration will start to flow, and without even realizing it, we'll complete the task. Fear is just an illusion. When we move forward and take action, we often find that the thing we feared wasn't as daunting as we imagined. The essence of these 7 tough pieces of advice is to transform ourselves into the best version of who we can be. There's always a reason for why we were born into this world, and the best kind of person is one who can bring value to others. To bring that value, we first need to change ourselves. Hopefully, these 7 pieces of advice can serve as a wake-up call for us to become better than we were before. Thank you, wishing you success, and may this be beneficial.